Hey, what's going on, everybody? Strider's back with another daily high ELO casting, and this is going to be a very interesting match. We do have quite a lot of damage going off from the blue team, especially with that Kog'Maw and the amount of CC that they have, being Alistar, Kennen, Nunu, and Lee Sin. They're going to really be able to keep that Kog'Maw safe, so that makes me very worried for the red team just off that. So blue team is going to be playing a game of Protect the Kog'Maw, and I think it's going to work out pretty well for them. I don't know how Kog'Maw started out way over there. That's very interesting. As far as the red team is concerned, there is an Ahri, a Malphite, a Rumble, a Corki, and Janna. So they have a very powerful team. They're going to do a lot of damage, especially with that Ahri and the Rumble. It's so much damage. It's a lot of damage. You cannot underestimate that type of damage, that amount of damage in such a little time. They just do so much consistent damage as well that it's going to be very, very scary. Rumble's not really going to be able to get out of Kennen's ult very easily, but Ahri will. And I'm a little worried about Kog'Maw because of the Ahri, but as long as Alistar or Lee Sin are able to stick on the Ahri, it's possible that they could still protect her. The other thing I'm worried about is the Malphite. Malphite has a lot of armor, obviously, and so he's going to be able to initiate onto the Kog'Maw relatively easily with his unstoppable force, but then on top of that, he's going to be able to tank a lot of hits coming out from that Kog'Maw. And that's going to give either Ahri or Rumble or Corki enough time to get in there, or hopefully rip through the rest of their team, because the blue team doesn't have that many tanks. I mean, they have a couple tankier type of champions, being Alistar and Lee Sin, and I guess Nunu typically builds a little bit tanky, but he will be support, so he won't be all that tanky. It's just going to be really, really interesting to see how it all goes down, to be honest. And red team is going to be able to back the blue team off of those golems. Wonderful job by the red team. They don't want to be low, or they don't want to be at a disadvantage when coming into the lane, because then that means that the blue team would hit level 2 before the red team does, and that's not something they really want to do. And Malphite is a little bit behind in jungle, actually, so Malphite will... Yeah, so Alistar is coming around. He actually is not going directly for his race, which is a little odd. He might actually be just going for a really early jungle invade, possibly. A lot of damage going on to both Corki and Kog'Maw. Yes, he's going for an great headbutt pulverize coming down, and somehow that, wow, the Thundering Shuriken did not hit. That was very interesting, because that looked like it should have hit for sure. But this will allow Malphite to come back and be actually ahead of Alistar in the jungle. I'm not sure how long that will actually last, though, so we'll see. Alistar's going back, trying not to headbutt the Wraith through. Oh, now Kog'Maw's taking a lot of damage going out from the Sona. Yes, and Corki picks up the last kill, and Corki's now going to go down from the Cathian Surprise. Oh, and picks up the Nunu with the Ignite. Wonderful job by the Corki, being able to take out that double kill. Janna playing it perfectly, giving the kill giving the first kill to the Corki. That was just absolutely phenomenal job. Nunu could have possibly been able to take out the kill, but I think he was really just trying to get out of there as fast as possible. He wasn't able to get out. I think he thought he was safe. I think it was probably the last tick of that Ignite that really kind of set him over the edge. It probably just did an even amount of damage to bring him to 0 life, possibly 1 or 2 extra, but it wasn't a lot. It was super, super close. So it was a really good call by Nunu. It's just unfortunate he wasn't 100% sure of everything, of all the damage that was going to be coming out from the Ignite. Oh, and now Malphite's all by himself, and now the stun coming out from, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to go on. Is it going to happen? No, it is going to be able to save him, but now, yes, the Ignite coming out from Lee Sin onto the Rumble, but Rumble's also going to ignite the Lee Sin to be able to take him out. Lee Sin, I believe, thought that Rumble was going to take a tower shot or two, so that Ignite possibly could have killed him if Lee Sin had a little bit more health. So now the blue team is pinging out Rumble. They want Alistar to go top, but it doesn't look like it's actually going to happen. Oh, and a great flash coming out from Alistar and Ahri both. So the headbutt was targeted, was locked on, but right when he was headbutting towards her, she flashed, so it didn't actually hit her. Wonderful job by Ahri being able to perfectly time that flash. That's such a hard thing to do. You'd be really surprised. And Lee Sin's trying to pick up this last little bit of damage onto the Rumble. Is Rumble going to go down? No, he's actually just going to slow and back off as fast as possible. Wonderful job by Rumble being able to get out of there. He really knows that matchup against the Lee Sin. He knows what he can get away with. He knows what he can't. So I'm a little bit concerned for this Lee Sin because it almost makes sense that this... Oh no! Now Kennen might be going down to the Malphite. Malphite actually misses the ground slam, but takes a lot of tower shots. And the charm now coming out from Ahri. And Malphite slows him down with that seismic shard. Wonderful job by Malphite being able to just protect the Ahri and protect himself at the same time. A lot of damage going on too. Oh no. The Corki is so low, but so is the Kog'Maw. Not sure how the Corki is going to survive off this. The Corki does have a ward, but he doesn't have any more health potions, and that's I'm a little bit worried about. And now Lee Sin is just taking tower shots now. And Lee Sin's definitely going to go down here. There's no real way for him to get out. Yeah, the Electro Harpoon does pick it up. Great job by Rumble right when he saw that. Right when he saw the charge come out from Lee Sin, or sorry, not the charge, but the resonating strike come out from Lee Sin, he just backed off, so it ensured that he was in tower range when he took damage, so it made him take a tower shot, and that's what really just gave him the kill for free, almost. I think Lee Sin saw an opportunity there that would have given him the advantage. I think he was a little bit ahead in that particular moment, and he's like, hey, I need to take advantage of this situation right now. If I don't, then it's possible that I'll get even further behind. So I think it was a good call on Lee Sin's part, but I think he just got outplayed by the Rumble on that particular case. And a lot of auto attacks coming out from Janna onto that Nunu. Nunu's taking so many 5 damage hits from Janna. Janna's little birdies. And it's always important to harass with auto attacks as a support. Yeah, it's not a lot, but when there's no healing going down, I mean, he does have a Philosopher's Stone, so it's not going to be too much. It's not going to matter much. Wow, Rumble's ultimate doesn't actually hit Lee Sin at all, but it's taking a lot of damage and a great auto attack. Yes, that overload is really going to hurt. And now a lot of damage. Yes, he does get the headbutt and the pulverize coming out, but he is going to have to back off because he sees that the Malphite's coming up. And now the red team's pinging off the blue buff, and this is not going to be good because they know that the jungler's top, and they might be able to take this just for free without having any issues. Malphite is still top. They don't have vision on it, but I believe they know that he was recalling. Yeah, that's unfortunate start for the blue team. Blue team is going to be down by quite a bit. This red team is really kicking it up a notch. They're ahead by about 1,000 gold. Kog'Maw isn't doing too bad in the farming department, though. I mean, he's definitely ahead of Corki by about 22 CS, which is quite a bit at this stage in the game. So I'm not 100% sure what Corki's doing. Since he did get that double kill early, I would think that he'd be able to harass a little bit more or do a little bit more creep kills. I don't know if it's just like his timing's off or he has the wrong runes or something, but I feel like he should be doing a little bit better than what he actually is. And the exhaust coming out onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin's not going to charge back in. And now the ignite with the flash and a little bit of extra damage is coming out into the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw does take that last tick of ignite. The Acathian surprise coming out. He's not even going to try for anything. He's not going to be able to do any damage. Very, very, very unfortunate for the blue team. Blue team's just getting completely destroyed right now. And the ignite going onto the Rumble. Rumble is going to throw his health push. It throws down his equalizer and smashes the Lee Sin just for a little bit of damage. And now Rumble's just going to continue to free farm. So both top lane and bottom lane are not doing so hot. And now the red team is going very aggressive onto that red buff. Wonderful job by the red team. They're like, hey, we got to kill. We know where their jungler is. So let's go take their blue buff. And then a little bit later, they're like, hey, we know where the jungle is. Let's take the red buff. And so they're making so many great calls. They know exactly where the jungler is. They know what buffs he has, what buffs he doesn't. And since they have a good idea of what the timers are, for pretty much every champion, obviously, but based on the fact that, you know, the second red buff is on nobody, because everybody was visible, And they're like, oh hey, red buff hasn't been picked up, but it should be up by now, because he had it earlier. And so they're like, hey, let's get a free red buff, and they just go over there and they pick it up without any contesting. I'm surprised they haven't actually gone for the dragon yet, but at the same time, denying a team of their buffs is, I don't know, it's hard to say. I don't want to say it's more important, but I feel that it is more important, because if you're already ahead and then you shut them down even harder by denying them the buffs that they need to help like come back, help the jungler gank a little bit better, then you're gonna have a lot easier of a time doing a dragon fight. If there happens to be a dragon fight, if they decide to go on to dragon, you're gonna have a lot easier time initiating onto them with 2 champions with double buffs on your team, and then the other team not having any buffs whatsoever. Plus the fact that they have a little bit of a gold advantage and a level advantage. Oh, and a great monsoon coming out from Janna, being able to do a lot of great slows, and the unstoppable force coming out onto Kog'Maw. It looks like they just decided to switch onto Kog'Maw entirely, and the Acathian Surprise look like it's just going to go after... Oh, and Ahri coming out with a lot of damage. Great job by Ahri, being able to take down like Kennen, absolutely no problems. And that is a 2-for-0 exchange going in favor of the red team. Wonderful job by the red team, just doing an amazing job right now all over the map. They're making huge plays. Their jungler is being where he needs to be. He's doing a great job counter jungling, which I didn't really know Malphite was that great of a jungler. Oh, an equalizer coming out onto the Lee Sin. Lee Sin's going to go down, but Rumble's going to get out of there without taking any more tower shots. And now the red team takes the dragon at 11 minutes. And that is a huge gold advantage at 11 minutes in the game. 5k gold, 11 minutes in the game. That's 1,000 extra gold for every single person on your team for the most part. On average, of course. I don't know the exact numbers, but we can check it out though. Ahri currently has 2,500 gold in the bank. So she's going to be absolutely monstrous here pretty soon. The only thing I'm a little worried about, though, Kog'Maw is still farming pretty nicely. He's 20 more creep kills than the Corki, which I'm still not exactly sure how it's happening since he's died 3 times and Corki's died once. But then again, you know, Corki has 4 kills, and that's going to put him ahead, especially with the Dragon 2. So Corki's 500 gold ahead of the Kog'Maw. I'm about 700 now. But of the Kog'Maw, and that's going to provide a great influence when it comes later on in the game. That's almost a pickaxe that he has in his advantage, and that's if he's going to go, you know, Trinity Force, or not Trinity Force, but Infinity Edge, but he is going to go Trinity Force. So that's almost an entire piece of a Trinity Force item. So that's almost going to be a Zeal or a Phage or a Phage, I already said Phage. This could be a Zeal, a Phage, or a Sheen. And it's right around that gold range, but that he's going to be that much closer. Now a lot of action going up top. It looks like, yes. Oh my gosh. Kennen gets exhausted, so he's not going to be able to shut the Rumble down. And the Pulverize being missed. And the Dragon Kick coming out, doing a lot of damage to the Rumble. And now a lot of damage going down by it. Actually, it looks like, yes, Kog'Maw does go down. Now Rumble's just chasing down the 3 members of the blue team, doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Gonna be able to take down... Oh my gosh, the Electro Harpoon almost gave him a double kill, but it wasn't going to happen. And the headbutt into the tower, going to be doing a lot of damage. Headbutts him right towards... Yes, he is able to pick up the kill. And now he's going to turn right onto... Oh my gosh, the Alistar, is he going to be able to get away? I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. The Pulverize coming out, but it's not going to do enough damage. The Electro Harpoon's coming out, and I think that he has enough. Yes! And now the Rumble's legendary. 8-0 at 13 minutes in the game. And that, oh man, this is such a one-sided game right now. Rumble basically survived a 3-man gank with a Kennen and an Alistar, which, I mean, surviving a 3-man gank when you're already pushed completely to their tower, if that wasn't a good enough feat, he was able to turn it around and actually kill all 3 members of that gank individually by himself. Yeah, it was, you know, a full-on 1v3 fight, but he played it smart, he played it well, he baited it out on the tower, he made them take a couple free tower shots, and a lot of damage now going out onto the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw's taking a lot of damage from this Corki, and Corki throws rockets, but the rockets getting stopped by the creeps, and now, yes, Kog'Maw is able to take out the damage, And Kog'Maw actually missing his living artillery, just not good. And now the Voidoo's coming out, doing a little bit of damage. But he does actually go down, and Janna might actually go down from this. Yes, she does. She did not shield herself, and I don't believe it would have really mattered because his passive does a lot of damage the higher level he gets. Wonderful job by the blue team. They were able to pick that up just a little bit. It was enough. It was definitely enough, and that's all that really matters. Doing a 2-for-1 exchange for the blue team is definitely where they want to be at this point. Being able to exchange, you know, 1 death for 2 deaths on the other team isn't something they enjoy. Oh my gosh, and Lee Sin goes down again to the Rumble very easily. Rumble taking like 5 tower shots, but just kind of brushing off and saying, I'm still at half health, I'm fine. Lee Sin getting completely worked over right now, 0-7 against the 9-0 Rumble. Rumble is probably has an insane amount of gold right now. 5,900, which is actually pretty much tied with the Ahri. He's only a few hundred gold behind. I was very surprised that the Ahri is only 3-0. She does have quite a bit more creep kills, and that's really what's helping her too. Not that it's really a gold competition between internal team, but you know, every once in a while you just like to know that you're doing better than another person, even if it's on your team. Sometimes a little friendly teammate competition never hurt anybody, really. As long as you're humble about it. And now Kennen's coming out. And, misses the charm, but is still going to go down from the auto attacks of Ahri and the rest of her spells. Ahri's going to be able to get out of there with no problems whatsoever. She's going to pick up... Oh my gosh. And now the mid tower on the blue team does go down. That mid tower is pretty important. The bottom tower is still the most important, I believe, just for helping to pressure that Baron. I think that's something that the red team really wants to do here pretty soon. Not that they're over cocky. Wow. So, Ahri coming out. She gets exhausted, but it's not going to be enough. She doesn't have her ultimate yet. She still has 45 seconds. She's going in for it anyway. Yeah, and it looks like... Oh, Lee Sin with the great save coming out, tanking that extra damage. Wow, Lee Sin goes and tries to get a little bit. Oh, yes, gets the Dragon Kick and ignites Ahri. And Ahri goes down from the Lee Sin. Wonderful job. And now the Malphite's going to pick up this Nunu without any problems. Kennen's coming in really hard. I don't know if he's going to try to flash an ultimate. Not really sure. He is just going to ultimate them at the tower. Going to be able to take out the Janna. And he's not level 11 yet, which kind of sucks. Yes, he's so close to getting another stun proc off. But... Malphite's going to flash through the wall. Wonderful job by the Malphite, being able to flash through the wall and doing exactly what he needs to do. He was able to get out of that fight, and that's really what he needed to do. And the equalizer coming out. Wow. Rumble's doing so good on that equalizer. And now just going head on against this Kog'Maw. But he's going to run away from the Kog'Maw. He does know that Alistar is also coming. And that's going to be terrifying. If he can get locked down in CC chain from Alistar, Kog'Maw is going to have free range for auto attacks. He does have that pickaxe, the Berserker Greaves, and the 2 Doran's Blades. With the combination of his Bio-Arcane Barrage, it's going to be very, very terrifying for him to really fight him 1-on-3. He is playing really smart this game, which is a great job by Rumble. And now the Malphite and the Janna look like they're going to be going after a dragon once again. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any contesting here, but I'm kind of surprised Rumble didn't stick around to help out, because Rumble can really help with those neutral monster buffs pretty easily. So I'm a little interested as to why he just decided to recall. I know, I guess they probably weren't in any trouble, but getting it done faster and taking less overall damage is also really nice to have. Malphite's just doing so much work right now as well. He has 3 gold per 10 items with the Giant Spell and the Chain Vest, so I'm interested to see what he's going to build. Ahri actually resets the blue buff just a little bit, gains a little bit of health, and this is going to be our first blue buff of the game, I believe. I think the red team has stolen it every time. And now it looks like they're going to be initiating onto this Lee Sin. Yes, it doesn't look like there's going to be any problems whatsoever. She actually misses the charm and the Orb of Deception with a great safeguard coming out from Lee Sin, but then he's going to go down from the Orb of Deception after it came off a cooldown. Wonderful job by Ahri and Malphite, just being able to lock him down, slow him down enough to ensure that Ahri secures those skill shots with any problems. And Malphite is now dancing, just kind of taunting the blue team. But in the meanwhile, Rumble and Ahri is just take out the inner mid tower on the blue team, and that's going to be even more pressure applied. So if they lose one team fight, they're going to be able to get an inhibitor. The red team will be able to get that inhibitor if one or two people die. It's either they get the inhibitor or they're going to go for Baron. I'm not really sure what they're going to do at this point because either one is a good idea. Oh, and a great headbutt pulverize coming out, and I think Rumble might be in trouble here. He does not have his equalizer to drop down. Yes, he is going to go down. And finally, the Rumble gets shut down, and Kog'Maw is going to go down from a great rocket coming out from Corki. And now Ahri is just trying to go in. Yes, lands the charm perfectly. And again, the kill goes on to the Corki. Wonderful job by the Corki. It looks like, yes, Malphite's just taunting that Lee Sin, saying, "You lose." Oh man, that's got to be so disheartening. It's bad manner for sure, but it's still got to be disheartening. He's juking the same way every time, so I'm not sure how it's going to work out. Yes, headbutt pulverize coming out from Alistar, and I think he was a little bit too cocky, and now he's going to go down. Yes, he does go down. His killing spree is now away. Lee Sin has picked up a couple kills finally. He has the Hex Drinker to help withstand the damage coming out from the Rumble. And Rumble has a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is not something I typically see on Rumble anymore. It used to be a very, very common item for him, but now it's just not something you typically see. You see the Hextech Gunblade, and then you see the like a Death Cap a little bit later, and an Abyssal Scepter. Those are typically the main items, and of course into the Will of the Ancients eventually, but you don't really see Rylai's until the very endish part of the game. But when you're this far ahead, you're able to kind of mix up your build a little bit. So now he has a Will of the Ancients and a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. He's going to be able to keep their entire team slowed with that Flame Spitter, and he has so much health also from that with the withstanding amount of damage. Oh yeah, he has the Ninja Tabby to survive any auto attackers. He has the Negatron Cloak to survive any mage burst that could possibly come out. And again, Kog'Maw's Bio-Arcane Barrage, it does percentage of your health in magic damage. So that's also really going to help Rumble. Just having that Negatron Cloak with the health is really going to help him. And now, oh my gosh, Rumble might actually go down, but this time he has the Equalizer. I think he might still go down. No, he gets another shield coming out from Janna. Janna's going to help with this. It's going to be a lot of work. And the Unstoppable Force coming out from Malphite, being able to take out the, yes, and now Malphite does predict it, and the Dragon Kick coming out hits both. Oh my gosh, that was a wonderful Dragon Kick onto the Malphite, knocking him into the Rumble. Rumble getting knocked up into the air. It's not really going, or it's going to disengage that fight entirely. So it's like, it's kind of almost a mini Janna ultimate. It's almost what it is, I suppose. And yes, they're just going to take an onslaught of this top tower. And Corki's doing a little bit of damage to people, so he's taking that turret aggro. And yeah, Alistar doesn't really seem to care. And now they're just going really hard onto this inhibitor. Currently with a 15k gold lead, it's not looking good for the blue team so far. I don't know what exactly they can do to try to come back from this. At this point, I mean, it's now going to be 2 inhibitors. Once you have 2 inhibitors down, regardless of how far behind you are, even if you're ahead, it's very difficult to recover from. It's almost impossible to recover from 2 inhibitors being down. So I think they're just kind of waiting out the game at this point. They don't want to surrender, I suppose. But I don't think there's anything they can do. And it looks like the red team is just going to push for the win. And he has Janna's ultimate coming out. Everybody's ultimate is coming out. Great job with that equalizer. Ahri getting the double kill, doing a load of damage to everybody. And the charm getting the Kog'Maw off the platform. And now the pulverize with the headbutt into the platform picks up the Ahri from the Alistar. Great job on Alistar's part, being able to get that without any problems. And yes, they're going to take down that second Nexus tower. And now Oh, Kennen's come in trying to get a kill. Yes, he gets the kill on the Corki, but does go down to the Rumble Malphite combo. And now they're just going to keep auto-tagging the Nexus slowly but surely. They will be able to pick up this Nexus. And headbutt coming in, almost put him onto the platform. Almost a really good shot again by the Alistar. Mess with Bull, you get the horns, and it doesn't really matter at this point. And yes, a great job by the red team. That was perfectly played by the red team. I don't really see any errors in their gameplay on that game. That was wonderfully played. It was almost as if they were playing 5-man ranked. They did just a wonderful job. They were controlling the other team's buffs. They were controlling Dragon. They were controlling the whole map. They're pretty much the only ones on the wards or on the map that had wards. There was one blue ward at their blue buff, but that was it. They didn't even require Baron to win. And again, like I said, if they won a teamfight or picked up a kill or two, they're probably just going to push the inhibitor. I don't think Baron was really necessary since they were so far ahead. There's no real reason to risk something that big this early in the game. You don't typically want to fight Baron unless you're like 90% sure that it's a guaranteed Baron. That doesn't really make sense. Kind of counterintuitive, but you don't really want to do it. I mean, a lot of times if there's a 50% chance of you getting Baron at about 35-40 minutes, that's a risk that is, it's worth it to take. But at 18 to 20 minutes, if you're trying to risk a Baron and you have like a 50% chance of getting it, it's, especially when you're ahead, it's a really bad idea because things can just swing in the opposite direction, and that's definitely not something you want to have. But yeah, it was a great game. Congratulations to the red team, GG to the blue team, and thanks everybody for watching. Again, if you guys like my videos, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm on vacation right now, so I'm trying to pump out as many high quality videos as I can. I'm going to try to do a brief pre-game stats on all the champions before that, and I think this will probably be the first game that you'll see that, so please leave a comment, let me know how you guys enjoy it, or if you don't enjoy it at all. Anything you think I should change about it, just let me know what I can do, and if you want it at the end of the game, or right now I'm putting it at the beginning, but if you want it at the end of the game, I can do that. It's just kind of up to what you guys think is best. But I thought it was a pretty good idea to do like a pre-game stats thing. I thought it was really interesting to me. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you later.